So the weather's finally getting cold, fall's quickly approaching, which means we gotta start pulling out our colder weather fragrances, so stay tuned. What's good, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. I hope you guys all had a great week. I know I did, especially when I was smelling good all week because fall is quickly coming, guys. The cold weather fragrances are by far my favorite seasons of fragrances, so I'm so excited. So we're gonna kind of start pushing away the freshies in the upcoming weekly rotations and start pulling out colder weather fall winter bangers. And if you are new to the series, we basically run down what fragrance we're wearing each day, how many sprays to kind of weather outside, and of course if that fragrance got any attention or not. And before we go ahead and get into my rotation, drop your rotation down below and let's get right into Monday. Monday was in the high 60s and sunny outside, and I pulled out Versace Havas Black, which is by far the GOAT of the Havas line. I haven't tried the newer ones, but honestly, even after looking at the note breakdowns of those, I still think I might prefer black over those because this is in the realm of something like aventus and nishane hacivat, but even so, amped up on the oak moss compared to hacivat, guys, which I love. That was by far my favorite part about that fragrance. And this one's just so good. I'm a big fan of hacivat, and honestly, after having black, I never really reached for it now, just because it took everything I loved about that DNA and just amped it up even more. I am kind of interested in Havas Cobra, which I think is going to be in the same realm as Louis Vuitton's Imagination, so we're gonna have to see how that one is, even though the name and the bottle does not seem like Imagination at all. That's not what I would think, but who cares, guys? We rocked black on Monday, and on that day, I did do 6 sprays of this one as well. The performance is excellent. Also hit up the gym, which let me know down below if you guys think this is a good gym scent or not, but hey, I really don't care. I mean, it's still a little bit fresh, fruity from like pineapple, things of that nature like aventus, but dang, guys, the earthy oak moss in this one, you had to check it out if you love oak moss. So that's what I wore for Monday is Versace Havas Black, the GOAT. Tuesday was in the high 60s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out Gravel's O Dominance. So if you want to dominate your day, you got to check this one out, because even the quote on the back says the fact of being important, powerful, or easy to notice, yeah, that's gonna be you when you're wearing this, because you are gonna get this very kind of spicy pink pepper bergamot mandarin opening, but it does dry down into this kind of leather. Almost went in the same direction as something like Santal 33 without that pickly kind of sandalwood and just more so on the leather tones from that DNA, but it also dries down into this kind of musky, salty, ambroxan, guys, and I love the dry down of this. By far the best part about the entire composition. If you don't know anything about Gravel, they are a niche brand that's been around for quite a long time, and they just relaunched their kind of like 4 new fragrances in this new collection. So yeah, kind of salty, leathery, ambroxan style of fragrance. I think there's some oud in here, but I don't really get much oud, maybe just a woodiness, but definitely screams power when you're wearing it, guys. Like you're somebody seriously important. On that day, I only did do 5 sprays of Oud Dominance. Was the first time wearing this one, kind of wanted to experience it, see what it was working with and things of that nature. It's not my favorite from Gravel, but it is pretty good from the 4 new ones, and I just love that name. So that's what I wore for Tuesday is Oud Dominance. Wednesday was in the low 70s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Elixir, which is of course the newest fragrance in the Acqua di Gio line, and kind of replaces Profumo and sort of in the same realm as Parfum. But guys, this one actually got better the longer it sat on my shelves, and kind of rediscovered it lately, because you're still getting that Acqua di Gio DNA that we've known for so many years, pretty much decades at this point. Metallic, kind of violet leaf, very watery, but it does dry down into this kind of smoky, rugged leather and earthy patchouli base. And the leather kind of replaced the incense you find in, I think, Parfum and Profumo. And this one's seriously really good. When I first got this in, I was like, nah, it's not gonna replace Profumo for me, but whoa, it's definitely a contender now at this point. So I think after a few months of sitting, the leather in this one comes out even more, and it's outstanding how good it is. And of course, while being an elixir flanker, it definitely has good performance. So Profumo lovers out there, if you're still hanging on to a few of your like discontinued bottles, you want a replacement, this might be the best one to go for now, even more so than the Parfum that came out a few years ago. On that day, I went 5 sprays of the Elixir. Like I said, the performance is outstanding. You don't even need more than 5 sprays at all with it. Don't recall doing that much on that day, but dang, guys, I was smelling incredible and just kind of wanted something a little bit more easygoing, so that's what I reached for. Thursday was in the high 60s and cloudy, and I pulled out Valentino Uomo's Born in Roma Ivory, guys, which is probably one of the most controversial designer releases as of lately. This one's getting so much hate, and a few people seem to enjoy it. For me, guys, I'm honestly not the biggest fan of it. I don't know what is going on over at Valentino. The last 2 releases, Extra Dose and Ivory honestly were kind of a letdown for me personally. And it's primarily because this one has such huge potential, kind of going the marketing of being smoky and fiery. However though, you're gonna get this kind of citrusy tart bergamot in the opening, a bunch of this creamy lavender. It's aromatic. It's not like a spicy lavender. It's not that aromatic, but extremely creamy, almost vanilla-like with this kind of fiery, smoky base. And don't get excited when I say fiery and smoky, guys, because it's like a bonfire that's pretty much like a mile down the way that somebody's having. You kind of get a faint kind of bonfire smoke in the air all the way down the road. If you're used to smoky fragrances, you love smoky fragrances, this will be a huge letdown for you because it was for me. Plus, it is an EDT concentration, which I have no idea why they would have made this an eau de toilette. They made the women's an eau de parfum, but that one's like 190 bucks compared to 165. Now, on that day with Ivory, I actually did do 12 sprays of this because I went into it already knowing it's not going to perform how I expected it to be. And man, was I right, because with the longevity, I got below average longevity and below average kind of rejection from it. I was extremely let down and disappointed. This one's only going to be worth picking up if you're either a collector, you have like all the born aromas, you love that line, then go ahead, get it. I mean, the bottle is amazing. I love the aesthetic. I love the color scheme with this kind of cream, ivory tone going on. Just the scent profile really ain't it, guys. On that day though, my girl did say I smell good with it, which is kind of contradictory what I'm saying right now, even though I think women might like it more on men than men do on themselves. Plus the women's Donna Ivory is much better than the men's release this year. It actually was the same kind of case scenario with the extra dose men's and women's as well. A huge letdown. It is limited edition, so if you want it, go ahead and get it. Friday was in the mid 60s and cloudy outside, and I pulled out Nasomatto's Pardon. Now, I actually found this one over at the rack stores during the week, guys, for $100 at Marshall's. When I seen this, I was so surprised. They also had Bararanda right next to it. However though, Bararanda wasn't on clearance, it wasn't really worth it, plus the packaging was open. Or I would have picked up both because I actually do want that one in the collection, which I think is a very good kind of boozy whiskey fragrance. However though, Pardon, guys, this one is outstanding because it's this chocolatey, earthy kind of oud fragrance, and it's so good. Might even prefer Pardon over Black Afghano, which I've had in my collection for probably around 5 or 6 years now. So if you want a chocolatey kind of oudy fragrance for like the fall coming up, this is going to be perfect, especially from a niche brand. Now on that day, I did do 10 sprays with Pardon. As we all know, Nasomattos are usually very, very potent. They're extrait de parfums and only come in a 30 ml size bottle because usually you don't need that many sprays. But I did go out in the evening, kind of went out and get some drinks and got some food, and it was kind of chilly outside, maybe like in the low 50s when I went out, and this fragrance is perfect for that sort of weather. And you already know your man's gonna be rocking this one a ton during the fall time. So that's what I wore for Friday, is Nasomatto's Pardon. Let me know down below if you guys have tried this one and what is your favorite from Nasomatto. Saturday was in the mid 60s and sunny outside, and I put out a Yves Saint Laurent myself. Now I know I'm not usually a big fan of the original myself. It's still my least favorite flanker, but man, this one is perfect if you're just chilling, kind of being casual for the day, not really doing much. This one is so good for that, guys. It's very fresh, clean, almost like dryer sheet. You get a fresh kind of clean bergamot, this very clean powdery orange blossom. Even though it's so basic, it's not gonna get a ton of attention or anything like that. It doesn't really set itself apart, but there's something about it that's so fresh and easygoing, you really can never go wrong with myself. I do prefer the Le Parfum with the added vanilla, and I definitely prefer La Absolue with that ginger opening. But still, one of the best easygoing and dumb reach designer fragrances you can possibly get is the original myself by far. Especially if you're a dude, you don't really want to smell like you're wearing a ton of cologne, you just want to smell fresh and clean. On that day, I was kind of chilling on Saturday. Honestly, didn't really do much, kind of like clean the house, things of that nature. And I just went 5 sprays. I wanted something fresh and clean, and this is always going to be one of my go-tos for that kind of situated fragrance. And to be honest with you, I know I kind of gave it a bad review when I first reviewed it like a year or 2 ago, but dang, the more I wear this one, I'm kind of starting to enjoy it even more. So that's what I wore for Saturday, is Yves Saint Laurent myself. Sunday was in the low 70s and sunny outside, and I pulled out Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which is a staple, classic, iconic fragrance, especially for the fall time, guys. If you don't own this one for the fall, you have to get a bottle of it. By far my favorite private blend from Tom Ford that I've tried, and the fragrance that got me into oud probably around 8 years or so. So we'll always have a special place in my heart, guys, and in my collection, no doubt about it. And just one of the best kind of entry-level ouds, and I'm not talking about price tags. I know when I made like a reel about this like years and years ago, people were like saying, how is that an entry-level fragrance? That stuff is so expensive, guys. I'm not talking about as far as price. I'm talking about if you just want to start getting into oud that isn't too funky and barnyardy and still smells of quality, you gotta check out oud wood. That's what I meant by that statement. You get this kind of spicy cardamom, Sichuan pepper that dries down in this rosewood and that Tom Ford oud. So crowd pleasing, so easy going for oud fragrance, you can never really go wrong with it. And I've been addicted to this stuff for over 8 years. Like I said, I can't get enough of oud wood, guys. And every time fall comes around, this is always one of my go-tos. All that day, I did go out to dinner, get some sushi, which is probably one of my favorite foods. I'm so addicted to sushi as well, but I did go only 5 sprays of oud wood. Performance never really was the best. With it, you can definitely do more, kind of overspray it to get a full wearing experience. And they also just recently came out with oud wood parfum, which honestly I have not tried, but I am kind of interested in it. So that's what I wore to wrap up the week on Sunday, is the iconic Tom Ford's oud wood. Still can never go wrong with this. So let me know down below what you guys chose to wear throughout the week if you haven't already. And besides that, leave a like, subscribe below as well. And I'll see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.